So as I was reflecting on this last week, uh, there was one phrase that's attributed to Jesus that kept coming to me. I thirst, or I am thirsty, depending on the translations you look at. And that phrase is recorded to have been one of the last statements that he made as he was hanging on a cross. And it's inspired this week, this final week. But I want to preface this week of meditation that we'll be enjoying together with an invitation and also a perspective. In making reference to Jesus, I don't bring in any assumptions about who anyone needs to think Jesus is or isn't. Same with any enlightened being or inspired being that we can recount that we think lived historically as well. So I don't present in this week as though we have the assumption that the historical events that we hear are recounted about Jesus's life, whether they are true, whether they are not true, whether they happened the way they said, whether they happened in a different way, whether they mean one thing or mean another thing. But what we have the opportunity with here is not so much to be concerned about those things, but rather to allow the inspiration that is there for us to open us to an experience of ourselves and of Source. So if we are believers that all things are live and move and have their being in some mysterious source, life force, divine presence, that if that's happening and we're awakening into that, then every moment when we tend that and open ourselves to that is a moment of actual and or potential awakening for us. And so I'm going to be drawing upon in this last week what are considered to be the 7 last statements that Jesus made. And they're statements that were made as he was hanging on the cross, as recorded historically. And again, in bringing those in, they are opportunities for us to encounter ourselves, to find where there is inspiration, connection, resonance. If it enlivens or contributes to a relationship that you have with the person of Jesus or the divinity of Jesus, that is for you. And if not, and it's some other way that you're inspired, that is for you. You see, this is about you, just like it is about me. Now, as somebody that has a very strong Christ energy signature in my path and my being, I draw great inspiration. But that inspiration that I share in these reflections is simply my own experience as a storytelling to open you to the story of yourself, not to get you into your heads to think about what you think or not think or believe or don't believe. It's needed, that can be helpful, but it's more, what are you called to open yourself up to by way of experience? And your experience, your story is precious and is worthy of this degree of devotion. So these last 5 days together, we'll be taking these 7 phrases. And I'm going to say the 7 phrases, and then I'm going to let you know how we're going to situate them. I think you'll find it interesting. Hopefully you'll find it inspired. I think I was feeling a little inspired as it came to me. So here are the phrases. Woman, behold your son. Son, behold your mother. Phrase 1. 2. Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. 3. My God, why have you forsaken me? 4. Father, Mother, forgive them. They do not know what they do. 5. I am thirsty. 6. It is finished. 7. Into your hands I commend my spirit. Now, we have no idea really what this person was experiencing. If Jesus was hanging on a cross, we get inclinations of where he truly was through these statements. But the many, many interpretations that come to us, mine included, are all very individual, very situational. And there is an invitation for you this week to let each of these phrases come to you, inspire you, niggle at you, enliven you in a new way. And the framework I am offering for these 7 phrases is I am going to parallel them with meditation that goes with the 7 major chakras. So we're going to have the 7 last words, the 7 major chakras, and we're going to start from the base and go all the way to the crown by Friday. So that's how that's how I'm framing it, which seemed to work out really nicely. So today we have the root chakra. If you're aware of the root chakra, you will know that it is situated at the base of the spine, at the base of the torso, and that it is a vortex of energy that spirals and opens straight down. The experience and the collective understanding that has been researched that's held in this energy center for us is the sense of being a part of creation. We can call it where we belong, or how we're grounded or rooted, or what's our tribe. We could talk about it in all of those ways. And you are part of Essence Tribe. And I chose the word tribe for Essence Tribe almost like a tongue-in-cheek, because I'll be honest with you, I don't like tribal mentalities because usually they coagulate in a way that makes it difficult for its members to have freedom and autonomy. So I did that a little bit like, we can have a tribe that doesn't have all of those mores included in them. So I'm not going to use that languaging when talking about the base chakra. What I would like to focus on is one very powerful part of being human, and that is belonging. Think about a time when you felt like you really belonged somewhere. Could be just for a moment, could be something that was a longer set of relationships or circumstances, but call to mind a time that you relaxed into your being, like, God, I belong here. And now think about a time when you came into a situation. You could be going to kindergarten, it could be anything, and you wondered, wow, where do I belong? Or do I belong? Or how do I belong? And now think about an instance where you felt a real sense of belonging, and then that changed. And you changed, the circumstance changed, but where you felt belonging, then you no longer felt belonging. All right. And I'm going to leave you with some optional homework at the end of the reflection before we do the meditation around this. So, our phrase that Jesus is recorded to have said that goes with this root chakra is actually, let me read the whole passage. Let me read the whole passage here. Standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary of Magdala. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple there whom he loved, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her into his home. The inspiration that strikes me about this passage is the insight that where there is belonging, where it can be found, is only and where we find connection on the level of soul. And we have this mysterious experience as human beings that there are all these other layers and setups and things we're involved in that may or may not be that deepest soul alignment. It doesn't mean that we aren't involved in them. It doesn't mean we leave a career we're meant to be a part of just because we don't have a soul belonging. But I believe what is pointed to here is that along our path, the pathless path to true liberation, that along that path, we discover over and over again that when we're called to be faithful to the deepest alignment with spirit, it is only those constellations and connections and configurations and relationships that serve that are the places where we can find we belong. And it's quite easy to lay up a set of expectations of where we should belong. I mean, it is the unraveling of lifetimes for most human beings to come to peace to elements even within their family constellations, where there was a sense of, I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard, I wasn't given a voice, I didn't feel I belonged, I didn't know how to find myself. What I was wasn't acceptable. And it can take a lifetime to work through the grief and the angst and the desire that's part of the innate human nature of belonging and should belonging. I should have heard that from my sibling or from my parent. That's their role. That's the reason we're in this life together. And yet, as we lay that up, not just with families, as we lay up that expectation, what we find over and over again is that we will find ourselves let down, traumatized. We will find ourselves meeting up with our own resistance from deep within. It's not meant to be this way. I came to this earth to belong. In my entire environment, I don't feel like I belong. And it pushes us to ask a question that can be more helpful. Not the, why don't I belong there? That's worthy of our grief. That's worthy of our processing. But the question that can be helpful, where do I find my belonging? If belonging is part of my human nature, and I'm here on this earth for an experience of being human, where do I find my belonging? And am I willing to trust that information over and above other ways I may pressure myself because of collective beliefs of what should be in this world. It hits us, it hits us. And every single human being encounters those same sets of trials. None of us is exempt from it. We could postulate then that that's part of the process so that we discover the true nature of belonging. That's me, the optimist, throwing that in there without diminishing the challenge that it can be. And here we've got these words where something that was not biological, that beloved disciple was not the blood son of Mary, and Mary was not the blood mother of the Son. And yet here in this powerful utterance, we have a proclamation. It's a proclamation. He's stating, my interpretation is he's stating a reality that's worth exploring. So the optional homework that I have for you is to reflect upon what actually is belonging to you. What is it that you hope for? What is it that you celebrate? Where do you find it? Where do you not find it? How can you give a gentle, thoughtful gaze towards your own relationship with belonging and what it means to you? These kinds of reflections can be very life-giving because we can hone in on the qualities that go into belonging. And then we have the freedom to say, well, it's not there. I'm going to look here. Even if looking away is a source of grief, we can still do it. We can say, it's not there. I'm going to look over here. All right. So we are going to do a root chakra meditation. And I think that you'll find it enlivening. And in doing this meditation today, though it will have a formal closure, because energetically I want you to have the closure, that even though we have a formal closure, we're going to be working our way right up the spine. And so just know, in a way, we're opening the week of reflection with this root chakra meditation. Okay. All right. I invite you to close your eyes. Bring your focus down to the base of the spine. And let the breath drop into the base. Stay there. And either feel or imagine, since you know it exists, the root chakra vibrating, swirling like a cyclone of energy, or as a cyclone of energy, and extending downward. And as you do so, kind of contract all the muscles in the sphincter and the base of the spine and the low region of the body. Contract the muscles as you open the chakra. And sense or imagine that this chakra is getting wider and wider and wider. And then when you're ready, relax the contraction of all the muscles. And contract once again, keeping the breath in the base, keeping the chakra open, opening it wider if you're able. And hold the energy there through the contraction. and relax all the muscles. And if you're sensitive to color, become aware that this chakra vibrates with a blood red, so symbolic of the blood of life, of creation. And let this vibrational frequency extend downward. Let the chakra open even wider, but extending downward through the chair where you sit, down through the floor and down into the earth. And allow or become aware of this energy of yours extending truly downward, deep, deep, moving through the layers of the earth. And this descent into the heart of creation can be to the heart of the earth, the galaxy, the universe. Truly, truly be the heart of all creation, known and unknown. But follow what is easy and comfortable for you, what does not push, but just releases connection to. And allow the life force that is at the center of creation pulsing. Allow it to move upward and into your root chakra. Become aware of helpful and not so helpful beliefs that exist in your energy. Painful moments of not belonging, beliefs that limit you, beliefs that set you free. And let the energy, the life force, wash. And keeping the focus on the base of the spine and the root chakra, inviting the energy to move up through the root Yes, through your whole body, but focus on the root. We're going to breathe the statement. On the inhale, we'll say I, and on the exhale, belong. And we'll keep our focus on the root chakra, inviting in a breath, exhaling, and recite, I belong. I belong. I belong. I belong. I belong. I belong. Continue at your own pace. And allow this energy of belonging to rush upward through the root, through all the cells of your body, through the heart that holds so much emotion, through the mind that holds so many beliefs. Let yourself experience the energy that you belong. And as we bring this meditation to a close, relax from repeating the statement. Relax the focus on the breath. And let the energy that you've opened to from the center of creation to very slowly create a separation where you're still informed by this energy, but your chakra is contained and becomes a bubble all around you. And that bubble grows closer and closer to the body, bringing the energy into you on all cells through the membrane. And tighten the sphincter muscles once more. On the next exhale, relax. Together, we bring the palms together in front of the heart. And we open the eyes with namaste. Namaste, my friends. Open yourself to perceive who is your spiritual family and what are those qualities that matter so much to you, that are worth preserving and nurturing. See you tomorrow.